So the creation of Euclid Wines really starts out when my mother told her mom that my father and her were going to get married. And my grandmother told my dad, "Are you prepared to support her in the lifestyle that she's become accustomed?"
She was fancy.
She was very fancy. And my dad said, "Well, I'm going to start looking for a job tomorrow." And they decided to move to Napa Valley. And he got a job at Robert Mondavi in 1979 as an intern. It was a paid internship. There was 50 interns that year. By the end of harvest, they were going to keep 2. And luckily enough, he was asked to stay on as full time.
Lucky for them, too.
Lucky for them. It's funny because the guy who hired him, I see him all the time. He's like, "Yeah, and in the interview process, I thought for sure this wasn't the guy," which was always a joke. Anyway, he worked at Robert Mondavi until 1993. He started again as an intern. About 5 years later, he was the MOD. So whenever he was on, he was the manager on duty in production. And in 1993, there was an opening at Opus One for the cellar master position, and he came in for an interview between Patrick Leone and Tim Mondavi, and was given the job. By the time he was leaving in 2014, so about 23 years later, he left as the cellar master, assistant winemaker, and production manager. The reason he had 3 titles is because what he was responsible for. Today, in today's culture, they would call that the associate winemaker, but they didn't really have that title back then. He had such a great career and upbringing. So when I was a kid, elementary school, my dad, in the summer, he would take me to work with him at Opus. You know, back then it was still owned by Robert Mondavi, and it was much smaller, so I could go, and I was able to go to the break room and the basketball hoop, which was behind the winery.
And the crush pad.
Yeah, and the crush pad.
Mm-hmm.
So I would do that 4 days a week, and it was definitely boring. Some of it was exciting.
But you got to meet the team.
Yeah, that's where I.
And you just hung up. It was the backdrop of your childhood when you were little, singing your songs.
Oh yeah, when we were really young, we would go to Mondavi on the weekend. You know, this would be like just a family outing. It wasn't like every weekend, but my uncle also worked at Robert Mondavi, and so my cousins and we would have like a picnic on the grass at Mondavi. And they used to let us climb into the wine tanks, these giant tanks, and we would sing Disney songs because of the reverberation off of the tank. It was really exciting. It was crazy. It was like our dads really owned the place, even though they didn't. But they had the keys to the door. I mean, you know, it was just like it was wild. We're very happy to bring our wine into the country, and hopefully we can have more reasons to come back in the future.
And hopefully we will meet some of you very soon, whether here in Japan or welcoming you to Napa and showing you a wonderful, hospitable time. But we want to get to know you. That's the best thing about having a small brand, is we know all of our customers and can develop a relationship. And we can share the best of Napa with you, and you can share the best of Japan with us.
So we don't make a lot of wine. We do anywhere from 600 to 900 cases a year. This vintage, the 2015, the 2016, you would never see that again.
So this is the first time that this wine is really leaving the country, is really leaving the U.S. We do not distribute anywhere in the U.S. It's not at a restaurant. It's not in a store. It's definitely not in Japan. So the Stella is bringing Euclid to you, as they bring so many other small family brands that we know and love. We're excited to be working with them and get to know you. You will not see this wine again. They will not offer it again to you. This is your only chance for this. They've talked us into letting you have some Syrah, the Merlot, and we're running low on them.
All right, thank you, Stella members. We hope you enjoy the wine and that you find it to be delicious, because that's the wine that we want to make.
We feel so lucky to meet you and to join the other brands that are in your collective so far. We know that you appreciate very fine wine, and we would not have met you without the Stella. So thank you to the Stella for introducing us to you.
Yeah. My name is Lucas Farmer, and I am the owner, co-owner with my father of Euclid Wines.
And I'm Jill Farmer. I'm the wife, not the sister. And we are so thrilled to be here in Japan, representing Euclid, showing our children your beautiful country, and hopefully running into Hello Kitty for our daughter.
Arigato gozaimasu.